So going to Pacific, they have a really good pharmacy program. I was chemistry major, on track for all of that. And then finally one summer I came home and shadowed a pharmacist and was like, I cannot do this for 40 years. And thankfully I had always heard, like, if you love what you do, you never have to work a day in your life. And I was like, I will not love this.
Well, hello, everybody. Dr. Ron Oberstein, president of Life Chiropractic College West, and I want to welcome you to another edition of our Life by Life West. Of course, I have with me my wonderful, phenomenal co-host and partner in life and health and everything else in between, Dr. Mary Oberstein. Hey, Mary, good to see you.
Hi, good to see you.
I always love seeing you, and we've got a guest today who both of us absolutely adore. We were saying last week, my God, we just couldn't wait to and have her here. We've got Dr. Caitlin Shikata coming at us from Reno, Nevada. How you doing? Hi, Doc. How are you?
I'm doing so good. How are you guys?
Wonderful.
Right.
We were very excited last week. I was in India last week, and Mary was kind of going over like, what are we doing when I come back, and yada yada. And she goes, "Oh, you guess who's on our schedule?" I was like, "Oh my God," because you are so full of life. And but I guess Mary, let me tell our audience a little about Dr. Caitlin. She's a 2018 graduate of Life Chiropractic College West. She was actually here when I stepped into the role as president. And I have to tell you, your smiling face, your giving, you exemplified lasting purpose, giving, doing, loving, and serving, because it's who you are, and it was just made my entry, my landing in this position very, very easy, because we did spend time together, and it was great. Graduated 18, went down to San Diego, spent a year in San Diego at a really great pediatric office in San Diego, and then ended up going to Reno, which I'm still confused about, a Hawaiian girl born and raised in Hawaii, in Reno, which is a beautiful town, wonderful, but snow and everything else, but it's awesome. And so been in Reno now for 4 years. Right. And we'll get into that, talking about that, the practice there. I knew that you said you were raised in Hawaii, and then went over to Oregon, to Forest Grove, Oregon, to Pacific University, to do her undergrad work, and was on a pharmacy trajectory. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And we're going to hear the story about how it kind of changed, and boom, ended up in chiropractic. And I certainly am glad that you did, because your heart is really, chiropractic is about the heart. And, Caitlin, your heart is just enormously huge, the size of Hawaii. So that's where we're at right now. And we got you blushing a little bit there, but let's jump in. Let's start talking and see what's there. Mary, you want to open it up? You want me to?
Well, yeah, because I'm like, I can't wait to hear your story. So, because you gave us a few little snippets. I didn't know you were on a pharmacy track, so I want to hear what got you from in college to Life West? What was the journey, and how did this happen?
Yeah. So in 5th grade, my teacher, her husband was a pharmacist, and she had told me, you'd make a great pharmacist. And I was like, yeah, I like math and science, and really made that decision in my head for whatever reason that was going to be my track. I hadn't even shadowed a pharmacist, nothing. And there's status and all of that there. So going to Pacific, they have a really good pharmacy program. I was chemistry major, on track for all of that. And then finally one summer I came home and shadowed a pharmacist and was like, I cannot do this for 40 years. And thankfully I had always heard, if you love what you do, you never have to work a day in your life. And I was like, I will not love this. And this is really stressful, because I was a junior at that point in college, and I was like, what am I going to do next year? I don't want to go to pharmacy school, but what else are my options? And thankfully, how they say chiropractic chooses you. One of my great friends in college is Scotty Cooper, whose father is an amazing chiropractor down in Fullerton, Dr. Ken Cooper, Cooperstown Chiropractic. And he was sharing with me the philosophy around chiropractic and the nervous system and subluxation. And I'm like, this all makes sense, science background. Why doesn't anybody teach it to me this way? So from there, I drove down with him 16 hours from Forest Grove, Oregon, down to Fullerton, spent a week in his dad's practice, and was just amazed by what I was seeing, just happy, healthy people wanting to prevent sickness, and just the energy of people when they're under chiropractic care is just so much different. And that was enough for me to be like, this is what I want to do for other people, what I want to be around. So went to a Champions Weekend that summer, and it was actually paired with the Wave. So I got to see some brilliant minds. Put my application in that summer, even though I wasn't going to graduate for another year. And then right after I graduated from Pacific, I started in July at LifeWest, and I'm just so grateful that that was my path.
Yeah, and there's never mistakes on the road, is there? That path to go there, it might feel bumpy. It might feel like, I don't know what I'm doing here. What am I going to do? But that path, if we trust it, right, it just takes us down. And Ken Cooper is a phenomenal chiropractor and a wonderful human being, and Scotty also, and the whole family. And it's just amazing. That's such a cool story, but I have to tell you this, and Mary, this, like in our practice, we would tell people who were on prescription medication for whatever reason, right? And if they couldn't get off of it for whatever reason, we'd always tell them your best friend is your pharmacist. It's your pharmacist, because they're the only ones who know what these different people are pushing or prescribing, right? And how many times are there issues with overdoses or mixtures of chemicals, pharmaceuticals, and so the pharmacist is the one who saves more lives, with that. But I think that our profession is certainly blessed that you ended up moving in this direction and kind of rolling like that.
Yeah. When I think it really was the philosophy, like I didn't really grow up taking any pharmaceuticals. Like, thankfully, I was very healthy. I played college softball, so I was, able to perform at a certain level, but it didn't really make sense to me until I heard the chiropractic philosophy, and that just like resonated a lot more with like what I believed about health, which is really cool. Cause yes, there's certain times that I've had to be in pharmaceuticals, my family has, and it does save their life in that way. But it's like, I want to help people in a different way. And chiropractic just felt like the way to do it for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think it's wild too, that because somebody planted the seed, right? You were in 5th grade.
Yeah.
Like 10 years old, that from then up until you said, oh, I don't want to do this. Mm-hmm. Like so many years went by where you were just like on this track of like, I want to be a pharmacist, which makes me think like how easy it is to put a seed there and have someone just grab onto it. And you were too young to even like have a thought of maybe I should shadow a pharmacist today. Like you were 10.
Or understand more about what they even do. Right.
Right. Because I had a similar thing where I chose medical technology because the day I went for undergrad, they said, pick a major. I didn't know I had to. So they gave me a catalog because there was no online then. And I went down and I picked one. I had no idea what it was. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, but
it's crazy.
I was young. I didn't know.
Those like personality tests, and they're like, oh, you would be really great in this profession. It's like, okay.
Right.
Don't know. Yeah.
The amazing thing is that as chiropractors, when we plant those seeds now, right, to an impressionable, 10-year-old, right, that seed, I think that our audience needs to know that we when we plant those seeds, because we know how wonderful chiropractic is, obviously. And your seed, Caitlin, wasn't planted by a chiropractor, by a pharmacist. It was planted by a teacher, right?
Right.
Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. Not a pharmacist, but as a practice member who comes in and we start planting those seeds, it's amazing what happens. And Mary, you're a witness to that, because how many people did we send the chiropractic? Over 300. And it was like, we would just tell kids like, oh my gosh, you'd be an amazing chiropractor, and they'd be checking feet and taking the little clicker instruments and stuff like that, and boom, and there they are, just crazy, just crazy. Cool. But that's trusting the process, but I got a question for you, because obviously, you've been 5 years in associateships. Mm-hmm. It's really cool, because obviously you're learning a ton, and I really want to hear what it is, like what have you taken from it, and how have you advanced yourself, through the associateships that you're in, that you one now for 4 years, and then one for 1 year. Share with us, what you've gleaned and how it's made you the chiropractor that you are.
Yeah. Gosh, so many lessons. Very grateful to have such really great mentors. So Dr. Stan down in San Diego, and then Dr. Rick Swecker here in Reno. Just really great people. So that's already a big thing where that they are wanting to support you in being the best chiropractor for yourself. Stan, from him, gained so much education on pediatric and pregnancy and just running an amazing family practice. Just so many great gifts that I received in that first associateship. And then coming into Reno, I was really able to put that into play. Like you said before, how the heck did I get to Reno? Like being from Hawaii, I never thought I would have ended up in Reno. So I'm glad that the path brought me here as well. But San Diego has a lot of pregnancy and pediatric chiropractors, and Reno does not. Like the birth community here is not as robust. So to be able to bring some different skills and be more of a sought out expert in this demographic has been really great. And being able to put that into practice, help a lot of moms, build community. And as an associate, I mean, you have a lot less risk, right? It's like you have your salary that you're getting paid, which is nice. It may not be as big of an earning potential as being an IC or having your own practice, but you're able to try different things and make mistakes and it not affect you as much, you know? And I think there's a lot of benefit in that because you can really learn who you feel very passionate about taking care of, the community. If there's people that, you know, could be better off with somebody else, and really acknowledging that in yourself, be like, does this person light me up? Does this person really want my help too? You're able to have a little bit of better boundaries in that as well. Our practice is a little bit more high volume. So being able to see and get like the repetitions. For myself, I was pretty confident in my adjusting and being able to communicate and take care of people coming out of school. Thank you to, you know, the education I received at LifeWest and being really immersed in that process. But being able to like put that into practice and see like how my body feels, you know, all those, just getting those repetitions, getting your hands on people, that has been a really great part of coming into an associateship of some really great practices for me.
Yeah. And as you move through the associateship, I mean, obviously, you know, where you are right now, 4 years. I mean, that is a testament, you know, on both sides, right? The relationship that's there, the love that's there, you know, for the office, the synergy that's there, because, you know, associates might stay for 2 years, 3 years. And I know associates have stayed for 30 years, right? Right. But it really says a lot. It does. It says a lot that, you know, that there's a great relationship there. What are some of the gems that you found? You know, like what are some of the things that that you were able to learn through the associateship, you know, that you're carrying forth? Because you can learn things and throw some stuff out, right? And, you know, because it's got to be authentic to you, correct? You know,
right.
And so share with us some of the things that have been some really great things that have come your way.
Yeah. Well, number one, I think just finding community for me has been really big. I think I'm a pretty ideal associate because I work hard and all of that things. Like, I think sometimes people fall back on an associateship because, you know, they don't want to be out there talking to the community, getting their own patients in, but that's definitely something that I've really enjoyed. So just like finding that community and building that. But in like patient care, I feel like one of the biggest struggles I had in the beginning was wanting to help every single person everywhere. You know, I mean, even when we went to India on service trips, like we're seeing hundreds and thousands of people, and just like, we know the power of chiropractic and just wanting everybody to also want that. So I think in the last, especially 4 years here, being more of like building the practice that I'm in, I've really learned kind of three things. I tell my patients this because number one, in order for people to make a change, whether it's, you know, to start exercising more or to see a chiropractor, it's like they need to have an awareness that a change needs to be made. Yeah. Once they have that awareness, then they need the resources. Like, okay, how do I do that? What people are around, what modalities, etc. And then lastly, it's for them to have the support, right? And when we're meeting these different people, unfortunately, not everybody has gone to chiropractic school and knows and loves chiropractic like we do. So sometimes we're meeting them just in this awareness stage. Like they have no idea that chiropractic can help their child with recurring ear infections or whatever the symptom might be. And to just be able to speak the truth to them, whether they decide to get under your care or not, it's like you were able to plant a seed and you never know how far reaching that will go, right? Sometimes you get them in that resources phase. So they're looking for a chiropractor. Now they see, oh, there's pediatric chiropractic, like my baby will be safe here. And then, you know, them reaching out to you there. And then there are the people that they are ready for your support and they want you because they know the person you are. And really when you have that, that is the ideal for me, because those are the ones that are building the community. But as an associate, or even like early on in practice, like really letting go of the fact that some people are going to say no to you, and it sucks because you know you can help them, but knowing that you are just a blip on their journey, and hopefully that even if you're planting the seed in the awareness phase, like they will be able to explore that and hopefully find that beautiful result for themselves at the end of it.
Yeah.
Well, and I love what you said too about, and maybe you can speak more to this, like when you're talking about chiropractic to people, right? And you're giving that awareness. I feel like sometimes young chiropractors, they talk about chiropractic in a way, but it's about me. I can do this. I do that, instead of just tell people about chiropractic. It's actually so much more relaxed. And when you said that, like it sounds like you're going into community and you're just sharing about chiropractic to people.
Totally.
And you happen to be a great resource, but you're not shoving it down their throat of like, here's why you need to come see me. And I love what you said too, like, we want them to want chiropractic.
Yes.
And that's how, so I love that you go out in the community and you're just telling the chiropractic story.
Totally. And I think that's a testament to well, there was like philosophy classes in school where it's like, okay, here's this symptom. Or I think champions, we had to literally do this to get in to become a student champion. Like it was like, this is the crowd you're talking to. This is like the symptom you're talking about. And like, just, it all relates back to the nervous system. And I think that's what I'm so grateful for, especially about Life West, of being such a philosophy grounded school, that regardless of the situation that's coming in, you can always put it back to our major premise. Our bodies are intelligent, like, just trusting the nervous system, because that does come down to science as well. And hopefully, the more people hear about that, I think the nervous system is being talked about a lot more, especially on social media and in health. So people getting a better understanding of, it's not just this pain, it's your body communicating with you. It's your nervous system out of normal function. Like we are designed to be healthy. So kind of always just defaulting back to that, and yeah, not taking like not necessarily the responsibility, but like it is a lot more calming when it's like, I don't need you to see me. Like I want you to understand and believe in your own ability to heal. And like, if you think that I could help you, great. But it's like, if you find somebody else that resonates better with you, I would much rather you go there and have them support your healing.
Yeah, and that is a consciousness of abundance. To be able to let people know you need to go. We don't push them out the door, obviously, but right, it's like, if there's a question at all, right? There's other people. If my true concern is having you become the best you can be and the healthiest you can be, then it doesn't have to be here. It could be anywhere. But what I also what you said, Doc, was that the awareness phase is really the taking responsibility phase. Right. And the question is so simple. Mary, we used to do this we would ask the same question to our patients. Is now the time in your life that you want to take responsibility for your health and whatever, get this taken care of, or whatever the reason they came in, or, increase your vitality, whatever it was. Right. But the real simple question, so it's just a yes or no. It's not like I don't know about it. It's like, we could talk about that other stuff, but is now the time in your life that you're ready to do this? And if you are, then perfect. Let's talk about what it's going to take to do that, right? And then see if that's right for you. I love it. And awareness is...
And we've always been the same thing. Like we talk to people on airplanes about chiropractic. We don't first ask them where they live to make sure they come see us. It's like we're unattached to what chiropractor they see. Then usually it's at the end of the conversation when they go, this sounds really great. They usually go, where do you practice? Now I go, I don't practice. Where do you live though? I can find you somebody. Like I'm just as excited to find them somebody as I would be to say, come and see me.
For sure.
So.
Yeah. And Caitlin, what you were talking about was it's not really chiropractic. It's life is what we're talking about, right? I mean, when you boil down the essence, of course, we're using chiropractic as the word, right? But really what we're talking about is, do you want to exhibit yourself at the greatest potential possible? Do you want to have your child be as healthy as they can possibly be? That's really what we're saying. They don't even have to know we're a chiropractor, right?
Right.
And then you say, oh, good. Well, here's what I could do as part of that equation, right? Of making, I love that. So what else? What other gems have you gotten? Give me 2 more gems on the associateship route. Because listen, I know you could go and you probably 2 years ago. I knew out of college here, seriously, and being with you in India, and then college here. I knew that you were one of the people who could walk out and you could just do phenomenal in your practice because of who you are. And I know you bring that to where you are now, but what was some of that other stuff that kind of was able to, boom, just sunk in?
As an associate?
Yeah, as an associate.
Yeah. Well, I think even just having a great team, you can do a lot more when you have amazing people on your team that can help spread the vision and spread the mission. And sometimes I think, I do go back and forth in my head about okay, am I ready to take that leap? Because I know I feel confident in being able to serve my community in the way that I want to in my own business. And I feel like I would really miss the collaboration with people and the team aspect, because, as a chiropractor, we can do amazing things. And there's so many people that can continue to help us grow that for us and kind of make our lives easier in some ways too. Cause I don't really want to be doing a lot of the, there's a lot of things I don't have to worry about as an associate, billing and whatever. I'm focused on adjusting, communicating with patients. So they really help us in so many ways to be able to do what we do best and put our energy into that as well. So it's definitely a benefit of being on an amazing team as well.
Yeah.
And I think what you just said, you don't have to own the team.
Right.
That's right. There's such a luxury. Yeah, that's a luxury.
Yes. Our team is so amazing at Family First here. I think sometimes our patients come in more for the team than they do for us. It's as soon as they walk in the door, that's when their adjustment is beginning, the environment, the space that they're able to be in to feel safe, to heal. It's not just this, rack and crack. I don't want to put down any other type of businesses in chiropractic, but it's they are human beings to us. We have deep relationships with them. They show up for our events. They want to serve the community with us when we do cleanups and service days. So it's we're building more than just chiropractic adjustments in an office. It's this community that is, dedicated to living their life in the fullest way and having people that resonate with that same philosophy.
I'm thinking about, we had an associate once for a couple of years, and then he wanted to go out, and his wife worked in the office too. She was not a chiropractor. And so he was like, yeah, I think it's time. I'm going to go open my own practice. So he goes out, he opens his own practice, and she's the CA, and he'd come back every Wednesday to get adjusted.
But he was also down the street.
He was down the street.
Literally.
He'd walk in the office.
A quarter of a mile, which we love.
Yeah.
Is right there.
But he'd walk in the office, and I usually adjusted him on Wednesday mornings, and he'd always have this sad look on his face. And I'd say, what's up? And so, I miss this. And he would come and get adjusted. And there was always this he'd hug me goodbye and say, I just miss this. And one day I stopped him. I was like, why do you do that? You seem sad when you come in here. And he goes, it makes me sad because when I was in here, and you probably feel like this as the associateship, he's like, there was another doc, there was two, myself and Dr. Oberstein, to bounce things off of and just to talk philosophy. And he's like, it's just me and my wife now. And he's like, the team is gone. And he stopped coming in to get adjusted after a while. He's like, I need some, he goes, because I would go back to my office and I'd look around and I was just he goes, I felt a little lost, So it's funny that when you said that, your eyes light up when you talk about the team there, your face lights up, and it's like your family there.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
So,
yeah.
And
I want to
go on.
I was going to say, I want to hear about some of the challenges being an associate.
For sure.
We only got a couple minutes because our time is
and how you overcame them. More important.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think for me, I'm not as money motivated, but that's a big thing with associateships. You feel like you are working your butt off and maybe not getting compensated in the way that you think you deserve. And I think thankfully, Dr. Rick, he's very open of the conversation around this. He has, changed our pay structures a few times to try to mitigate that, which I'm grateful for. Thankfully, I live by myself. I'm able to live the life that I want. And I know my boundaries of like how many people I'm wanting to see. And I'm okay with that right now of the money I'm making with that exchange. So I think to me, it's also just like gratitude and taking it as like a learning experience. Like if I do want to go off and open up my own practice in the future, it's like I have learned so much that I'm going to pick and choose the things that I love and know the things that I definitely don't want to do that I have seen. So there's a lot of value in that as well.
Yeah. So is it a hybrid? Like you're associate, but also have your own practice that you've kind of built or cultivated with your community?
Yeah. So, I mean, for myself, it's like, I want to see people that I want to see. So I will go out and, volunteer at different places, get in touch with different organizations, especially with pregnancy and pediatrics. Yes. If anybody calls the office, they'll go to whatever doctor has the availability, but I want to build my own referral source in there as well, so I can continue to see the people that I want to see. So that's where I think the doctors in our office have been pretty ideal associates, because we are doing the work. We're not just waiting for patients to get put onto our schedule. Yep. Because it is like, it's the energy exchange as well. Like I'm going to enjoy work a lot more when I'm adjusting families and kids and, versus, I love helping people who are like in car accidents or on Medicare, but it's like, that's not what lights me up. And other doctors in our office love that. So I do that work for myself to get out there so that I can see those types of people in the practice. Yeah.
We could just keep going.
Wait, I have one question.
Yeah.
I was like, I have questions in my head. So you never really said like what got you to Reno? How did you get there?
So my boyfriend at the time, so it was for a guy who's also a chiropractor. But he, the relationship didn't end up working out. And I also know, like looking back at the process of it, it's like there's no way I would have moved to Reno and been able to experience all of this if I hadn't taken that leap. So if that's why, he was in my life for the time that he was, then I'm very grateful for that.
Part of the process, right?
Exactly.
You reminded me of Good Will Hunting when Matt Damon drives out to California from Boston, and Robin Williams goes to see him, and he goes, there was something about a girl, right? I gotta go see about a girl. You gotta go see about a guy.
Wait, I have a follow-up question.
Yes.
Will you stay in Reno? Do you see yourself staying there?
I do. I feel like I've immersed myself in this community. There's actually a lot of Hawaii people here, which I had no idea. So I have like my hula community that has been a really good like basis for feeling like I'm at home. So I'm enjoying it here. I don't feel any other place calling me, but until that happens, like I will be here.
I love it.
Right.
Well, guys, we've kind of come to the end of our show. We've hit our time. We probably went over, and that's fine because it's been unbelievable. You are amazing, Caitlin. I just love your energy, and we're going to get you over to the college to speak to our students. That's Friday seminar, which I'll talk to you about at the end of the show. But we always end our Life by Life West with two questions that we ask our guests. All we're asking for is just whatever that innate response is, right? And whatever the answer is, it could change in 5 minutes from now, so just a 30-second innate response to it. Mary, I'll let you ask the first question and then I'll ask the second.
Okay. So the first question is, if you could go back and speak to Caitlin right before starting first quarter at Life West, what would you say to her? What advice would you give her?
Wow, that was a while ago. What I would say to her is that it is going to be the hardest 3 years of your life, but so worth it. Like just the transformation, especially for me coming from a non-chiropractic philosophy in my life and health, like that was the biggest thing and gift really that I received of like fully immersing myself in that and really being able to change just how I viewed life. So that's what I would tell her. It's hard.
Good answer.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. I got the second question. The second question, very similar, actually identical, except I'm going to switch one thing. So now you're speaking from where you are right now as Dr. Caitlin Shikata, 5 years out, so to speak, and you're speaking to Dr. Caitlin Shikata, who just graduated. Not first day of school, just graduated. What advice would you give her?
Well, I think just like, the theme of this podcast that we did, I think trusting the process, because, you know, my associateship down in San Diego, which to me was like an ideal, maybe didn't work out in exactly the way that I wanted to, brought me to Reno, which I didn't think I was ever going to be here. And just like knowing that you're always going to be pulled to where you belong and where you're going to be able to help the most people, where you're going to be happiest. And even trusting like every single person that shows up on your table is meant to be there for a reason, whether it's just interaction for their own awareness, or if it's for you to change their lives, or if it's even a mirror for yourself to learn something. So I think, yeah, trusting the process in that, and that will be forever, right? Trusting that the universe will always be in your favor.
Always taking care of us, 100%.
That's great.
Wow.
It's a good message
I don't
for
want
anyone.
Very much so.
But we need to, because we have a time limit. Hey, Doc, thank you. Thanks for being with us, and thanks for sharing, you know, your heart and your energy, and thank you for being an inspiration to people. I know you're on Instagram and you're all over the place, and you're really, you know, lighting things up, so to speak, you know, in Reno, but not just Reno, in the world, you know, that we live in. And thank you. And thank you for carrying the torch of Life West. I know that, you know, you and your office are always talking to your people about Life West, and, you know, you support Life West, you know, not just monetarily, I know you do, but also, you know, just emotionally and everything else. So thank you for what you're doing for chiropractic. And that's really for the universe, right? Really to create a brighter future for humanity. And, it's awesome. And to our viewers, thank you. Thanks for coming back week after week and listening to these. I mean, our viewership has grown so much, and it's because of you sharing this. I mean, listen, trusting the process. I think we all know about 5 people in our lives who, not just chiropractors either, who need to learn about trusting the process. So share this, you know, with others, because Dr. Caitlin dropped some amazing gems. And as Dr. Mary and I go back and listen to these, we always hear more things than just being in the conversation. So, but thank you. Thank you for being a part of spreading the word, spreading life and health, and spreading the wealth that people have within them, that wealth of health, that fountain that's there, and they'll never know about it unless we spread it. It's because of all of us, especially you who are listening, who can go out and spread that. So keep spreading the word, keep doing what needs to be done, and just know that we are always here. We drop these Life by Life Wests every other week. The opposite weeks are our Life West leadership line. And just keep joining with us, playing with us, and just know that we love and appreciate you. So until we come at you at our next edition, we bid you really, really phenomenal health in yourself and also in all that you get to touch. Good. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.